I didn't think much of myself. When I compared myself to others, I always paled in comparison. I wasn't the most athletic, the smartest, the handsomest, or the most talented. There was nothing unique about me except having a name that no one could ever pronounce. To stand out in the world, to be seen, you had to do or have something special. When I looked at myself, I only saw things that made me different. I stuttered, so I dreaded being called upon in class. I was fat and uncoordinated, so I would spend my time scratching paint off a bench instead of running around on a playground. I had brown skin and spoke Spanish, leaving me to constantly explain that my parents were from the Dominican Republic, a country people had never heard of, much less knew where it was on a map. I felt that I could disappear and no one would notice. It was in the darkness that I began to see. There was a feeling of the metal reels beneath my fingertips as I rolled the film onto them. There was the odor of stop bath and fixer. There was the weight of the paper as I pulled it out of the tray, the chemicals running off its glossy surface. And finally, there was the moment of holding the photograph of a boy grasping a pool cue, his eyes intently gazing at a round white ball. I stared at that wet sheet of photo paper thinking, I made this. 35 years later, I'm walking the streets of New York. The early morning sun cuts through the gaps of the surrounding skyscrapers. I chase after the light, like a child hoping to trap fireflies in a glass jar. I see how light hits the surface of a taxicab, how it reflects off endless glass surfaces, how it kisses a woman's face as she is paying for ice cream. I make my pictures and walk for hours, the soreness of my feet and legs only a minor distraction from the joy of every new and magical discovery of contrast and color and life. It is the way I see the world that draws me out of the darkness and into the light. I am no longer invisible.